So it's ranking season in the NFL. Everybody likes to make their rankings list this time of year. We're going to take a look at some of those. We got Joe Burrow at Fanatics Fest, some reactionary content there, and then we got something by Mike Florio that I want to react to with you guys. So let's dive into it. Touchdown! I have these dreams. What'll happen to me? Will I burn out? Have I been wrong? What does it mean? All these things can't understand why. I toss and turn, but I keep stressing in my mind. Day and night. Day and night. All right, welcome to the show, guys. This is Fourth and Who Day. I'm Corey from Play Action Sports. Today we're going to be diving into some stuff. This is the channel. We're talking Bengals all day, every day. All right, so first let's get into it. We're going to start with some good stuff today. Considering there's been all the crap that's been going on, obviously with the contract stuff, with Shamar, Trey, all the negativity, I wanted to start off with something good, and that's Joe Burrow at Fanatics Fest over the weekend. And his interaction with this kid, I'm sure you guys have all seen it, but let's take a look at that clip. I thought it was hilarious, especially the kid calling him out for making it to the playoffs this year. So let's take a look at that.
I got to tell you, there's so many fans here to see you. Asher, come here. Cincinnati fan.
What's up, man?
Shout out
You're
Asher.
my favorite player because he's on the Cincinnati Bengals. He's amazing.
We're going to have a great year for you.
Better make the playoffs.
Wow, calling you out, Joe.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
The better make the playoffs has got to be. Like, the tone in his voice there was hilarious. It's Asher, buddy, that's exactly how we all feel. Us Bengals fans all feel. But I think the other thing here is the confidence in Joe Burrow's voice saying, we're going to have a good year for you. Now, I wouldn't expect anything less. But I do think, now, obviously, bias, of course. There's always, this is the time to be optimistic. I do think with everything that's going on, the continuity that the offense is going to bring this year, who's to say they can't be better than last year? And last year they set records. So let's see what they can do this year. So that was awesome to see. Now, I wanted to kind of dive into Chris Sims put out his rankings list here. I don't know if you guys saw it, but the 2025 quarterback countdown, he has his top 10. And I have some questions, some concerns here. And I'd be interested to see what you guys think about the quarterback list that he put out. I know I'm always going to bang the Joe Burrow drum, as I'm sure all you guys are. And I understand that his placement on this list isn't going to be at the top until this organization figures it out. And we are a top seed in the AFC. We host these AFC championship games. Like, until we get to that spot, I understand Joe Burrow is going to be third in the pecking order here, as is shown. But I do think he is the better quarterback. I think he's the best quarterback in the league, and that's not even a biased take. I just think statistically what he's done is unmatched. And one thing I kind of wanted to point out here and dive into is kind of this notion with Lamar Jackson. Now, obviously, I'm a resident Lamar Jackson hater, apparently. But, yeah, I don't fuck with the Ravens too much. And I just think people love Lamar Jackson because of the way he goes about it, his electric style of play. Do I think he's necessarily the best quarterback in the league? No, I don't. From a pure quarterback standpoint, I think a lot of his deficiencies are masked by the team around him and the system that he plays in. And I don't think you have to look far to kind of see that stuff. But going back to the list here, I want to take a look at the top quarterbacks and kind of see what you guys think about who should be in here and who shouldn't be. And I think the one thing that stands out to me immediately is, like, Jalen Hurts at 10 here, right? Like, I don't know how you have Justin Herbert, Baker Mayfield, CJ Stroud. Like, these guys don't deserve to be in front of Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has gone to 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years. Jalen Hurts just won a Super Bowl, and smoked the defending Super Bowl champs in the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, this is the rhetoric that I want to dive into with you guys, because I think the problem here is all the talk is about Jalen Hurts and the supporting cast, right? And I think that's why you don't see people like Jared Goff on this list as well, is the argument against supporting cast. And I have some things I'm going to pull up here to show as well. So if we look at supporting cast in comparison here, we're looking at QBs with the most help. You got Lamar Jackson at 1, Jalen Hurts at 2, Jared Goff at 3, Patrick Mahomes tied at 3 too, right? And it's the same thing with Brock Purdy. So my problem is why aren't we coming with the same energy towards Lamar Jackson and his supporting cast that we're coming at these other guys with? We don't give Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff, Brock Purdy, we don't give these guys the credit they deserve, because the argument is their team is a lot better. They have great coaches. They're supported. Like, you can put anyone on that team. Like with Brock Purdy, it was you could put any quarterback in that system. They'll be successful. He has McCaffrey, this and that. With Jared Goff, it's all he had. Look at all the talent he has around him. Like, and then to go back to the list and these quarterbacks aren't in there. But then you have a guy like Lamar Jackson at number 1. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. Why aren't we coming at Lamar and approaching this conversation the same way we do Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff, Brock Purdy, these other guys that have the same help? Like, Lamar Jackson has the most help in the entire league, yet we put him on this pedestal. And that's my argument, right? It just doesn't make any sense to me. And I think what the problem is here is it's his playing style. It's electric. I get it. What he can do is amazing. Don't get me wrong. Jalen Hurts doesn't do it to that same extent. Jared Goff doesn't do it to that same extent, right? Yet they've still won more playoff games. Like, Jared Goff's made it to a Super Bowl. So to sit here and say that Lamar Jackson is a better quarterback, what's our metric for evaluating who's a better quarterback? Because it's not playoff wins, clearly. So, and passing stats, it's like these other guys are up there statistically with him too. I just think it's the way he plays football, and people are just enamored with the electricity that Lamar plays the game with. And I understand it, but I do think it's a bit more of a facade. So another thing I found kind of interesting was Zim. He posted, obviously, little comment here: 19 Ravens, 13 Pro Bowlers, 6 All-Pros, 23 Ravens, 24 Ravens. Like, the Ravens have had some of the best teams here. And look at their defensive ranks, right? Like, this is the shit that stands out, and I'm just like, it's never the same argument. So make that make sense to me. Like, Joe Burrow doesn't play with any of this. He has none of this going on. And it's what Joe Burrow does in spite of not having all of this stuff that makes him the best quarterback in the league. And then when you go to this nifty chart here, we got wins above replacement. You obviously see that Joe Burrow better with a weaker supporting cast. I don't know what else you need to see. And I'm telling you, it's just the team itself. He has to take this team to a point where they are, hosting AFC Championship games. They're finishing the season with 13 wins, 13 plus wins, things like that. Like, that is when they're going to get the respect. That's when Joe Burrow is going to get the respect. And I do think if they can stay healthy this year and they have the continuity on offense and they figure it out on defense, this could be the year they do that. So we'll see how that goes. But some stats to look at here, like I said, not just a biased Ravens hater. I'm bringing statistics here, and I'm trying to show you that the standpoint is Joe Burrow should be number 1, and Lamar Jackson. I think we need to echo the same thing we do with the other guys that we do with Lamar Jackson. So that was one of them. And then kind of back to Chris Sims' list here. I do think Jalen Hurts should be higher than this. I don't think C.J. Stroud should be this high. I get it, but he had one great year last year. I don't know what warrants the number 7 quarterback in this league, to be quite honest. And I would personally have guys like Jared Goff on here higher. And that goes to say, like, he's done it. He's won games. Like, I haven't seen enough from CJ Stroud. And it goes with Jaden Daniels too. Like, I know he took them to the NFC Championship game, but who's to say he can't come back and have a CJ Stroud season the next year, right? Like, that's in the range of possibilities. These 4 guys have obviously done it, and they've done it consistently. That's why they're there. But when you look at this list, I think Jalen Hurts needs to be way higher here. I think he needs to be in front of Stroud, Herbert, and Mayfield for sure. But that's my take. What do you guys think? Who do you think kind of is missing from this list? Who would you kick out of this list? You guys let me know in the comments. Now, on to the next one. We got the wide receiver rankings here. So let's pull that up. PFF did their wide receiver rankings. This was a while ago. Little bit of a head scratch here on this one. I don't know how you can put A.J. Brown at the top here. Jefferson, I get the argument, but you have a player that just won the Triple Crown in Jamar Chase. Doesn't make any sense to me, especially after the season he had. I will say he's probably the most disrespected Triple Crown winner I've ever seen, and that's unfortunate. So to see this list and see A.J. Brown at the top is wild. Now, that's not taking away anything from A.J. Brown. His statistics are obviously there. Like, he's one of the best receivers in the league. I just don't think he has the versatility that Jamar Chase has. You can line Jamar up anywhere, and it's what Jamar does with the ball in his hands. He has some of the most electric plays you'll ever see from a receiver. Those are things that you don't get from Justin Jefferson. Those are things you don't get from A.J. Brown. I haven't seen those players take slants and do the things that Jamar Chase does and break the tackles that he does. I think he's one of a kind, and I think he deserves to be number 1, especially after that season. But I get it. You want consistency. I just think the A.J. Brown thing was a reach. Now, who's to say like he wouldn't flourish in an offense like the Bengals where there's a lot more passing volume? For sure. Like, I get that. I still just don't think he is Jamar Chase. He's just not as versatile as Jamar Chase is. So when you look at this list, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I'd probably have CD over Amon-Ra. I don't know if these are ranked in order or if it just goes by tier or how it is, but yeah, I would have CD up there. I know there's a lot of hype on Nico Collins this year, so we'll see how that plays out. I'm a little bit more skeptical just based on CJ Stroud's play last year, so we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, I don't know what the deal is with the A.J. Brown take here. Pretty rough. But now I wanted to kind of dive into this video with Mike Florio, and I've told you guys I'm not a resident Mike Florio guy. Don't agree with too much of what he says, but this take kind of hit home when it comes to being a Bengals fan, and I want you guys to listen in and kind of I want to get your takes on how you feel about what he's saying here.
And look, I understand Bengals fans of any team. I get how this works, people. You love your team, you support your team, and you're stuck with ownership. So you've got to, it's almost like excusing your friend who's an asshole. And I always was bothered by that. Every group of friends has one person who's an asshole.
At least.
And the rest of the friends spend all their time making excuses for the guy they've known since they were 6 years old who's an asshole. And I always say, well, no, it's for you, the rest of the friends, to get this guy to stop being an asshole. And so fans of the Bengals, your team's being an asshole when it comes to Shamar Stewart and Trey Hendrickson. And they were being an asshole last year when it came to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. It's for you to put the pressure on them to stop, not excuse it, not defend it, but say, hey, you're right. All you people who are criticizing my friend, my favorite team, this ownership group I'm stuck with, you're right. We're going to put pressure on them to change. And it's astounding to me how many Bengals fans will get upset at those of us who are pointing out that they're just stubborn for the sake of being stubborn. They're cheap for the sake of being cheap. They're obstinate for the sake of being obstinate, and it's stupid. And what's going to happen? They're going to be not as prepared when week 1 rolls around as they could be, just like last year.
Yeah,
and
just like last year.
Multiple other years.
Yeah, I mean the day before the game.
Yes. So before we get into the second part here, I thought that was the greatest take on it because it does feel like that. I grew up a Bengals fan ever since I was a kid, and I felt like I was always just defending them for the stupid shit. Like the Carson Palmer era, I grew up with that. Now, I was a kid. I was a little bit more naive, so I didn't really understand what was going on. Now I've had like multiple years of watching, multiple decades of watching this team and what they've gone through. And right now they are absolutely that team. And I think we're all feeling the exact same way where it's like we're sick of fucking defending these guys because there's no excuses. When you add Andy Dalton and it's like, okay, I get you might not want to spend money because you have such a mediocre quarterback. You don't really know what you can do with him because we never had the confidence that we could win a Super Bowl with him. But now when you have Joe Burrow, it's like, dude, all we need is for you to support this guy. We know this guy can win a championship. It's mind-boggling to see them do this, and that's exactly what it feels like, is like we have that friend that we're trying to make an excuse for, and it's driving me insane, but I love that take from Florio.
A couple days before the Patriots game, a team that they should have blown out, won by 3 touchdowns. You're still wondering what's going to happen with the Jamar Chase situation, if he's going to sign or not. And he didn't sign, but he played anyway. And up into the game, Friday, Saturday before the game, he's
90 minutes before kickoff, he didn't know what he was going to do.
It's questionable. It has nothing to do with injuries. It has to do with the contract. There's no question that they cost themselves a playoff spot last year by messing around with the contract. But I wonder, Mike, if Bengals fans are defending, if they're mad because they're defending the Bengals, or they're mad at you for pointing this out because they're in this situation. It's what you just said off the top. It's like, hey, we can't fire the owner. We're exhausted from trying to put pressure on him. He feels no pressure. Mike Brown, he feels no pressure. He has perfected this. This is what they do. So, oh yeah, fans. Okay, are you not gonna cheer for the Bengals? You're gonna cheer for the Steelers now? You're gonna become a Browns fan? I don't think so.
Absolutely not.
You're gonna move out of northern Kentucky, Southwest Ohio? I don't think so. So you're stuck, and maybe that's why they're mad, because they're stuck with this. They love the team, and you think just when you think the team is gonna change, and they sign Chase and they sign Higgins, and they put out this video, the social media video, like, hey, you didn't think we'd do it. We did it. You think they're about to change, and it's going back to the same old thing with Trey Hendrickson and with Shamar Stewart. It's really disappointing.
That's exactly it. This is what I've been screaming from the rooftop. It's the fucking purgatory that we're in right now as Bengals fans. Is like we love the team. We love the players. We hate the way the organization conducts their business, and it's like, they're not going to change, and then they tease you with potentially changing with the way they've done everything when Joe Burrow came in, changing things up, and now kind of going back to that same stupid narrative. Like, we are stuck in this purgatory, unfortunately, and that's what's driving us all insane. So these guys are nailing it. How we feel as Bengals fans, it's like so fucking frustrating. Every day I got to wake up and read this shit, and with the controversies that they have, when they have the best quarterback in the fucking league, and they just sit there and they kind of meddle their way through it, and they don't go out there and attack. And it blows my mind. You have such a big opportunity here, and you're blowing it. You're fucking blowing it. So this is the shit that's driving us Bengals fans insane. Now, I want to know what you guys think too. Leave your comments down below. Do you agree with Florio? Do you agree with these guys on how you feel as Bengals fans?
Well, and the Chase and Higgins deals, when you scratch on the surface, you realize.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. They literally put out the videos trolling the media and everybody about signing Jamar and T. Like, you shouldn't have to do that. That should be an expectation. You shouldn't be trolling people. Like, it's kind of hilarious now when you look at it. They troll people with that video, and they still have controversy brewing right now. It's kind of pathetic. So it's hilarious to me watching these people conduct business.
Both guys did deals that the Brown family and the Bengals wouldn't be upset about, that they weren't exactly the hardest bargains that the players were driving, and that was a benefit to the Bengals. They were able to get two of their key players signed to long-term deals that, from a cash and structure standpoint, weren't nearly as good for the players as they could have been. That's just the reality. And I think you're right. It's the frustration that they feel, and they don't know where to direct it. And they can't direct it at the team because that's not going to prove anything. So let's get mad at the people who are telling us that wrestling is fake, the people who are telling us that football is ultimately a business. They're not really trying to win Super Bowls, especially in Cincinnati. I mean, we've been hounding on the Cowboys, at least I have been for the past couple of years, because I believe that all this stuff from Jerry Jones about, I want to win badly, I want me some glory hole, one of his pull string catchphrases, that's all bullcrap. That's all aimed at getting you, the fan, to believe it, so you'll keep giving him your money. And at the end of the day, profit is what he's motivated by. And I believe there's no facade. At least with Jerry, he's trying to convince you that it's about winning when it's not. With Mike Brown, he doesn't care. It's about profit. Carson Palmer said it years after he decided, I'm done with this team. He sat home. The Bengals were like, fine, we don't have to pay this guy. Stay home. It's more money for us. He said, when you put making money over winning, you've got no chance. And the Bengals have prioritized making money over winning forever. And they've stumbled into this Joe Burrow thing where it's like, hey, how about this? Best quarterback we've ever had. Ohio native. He's here. We have nice things now. Oh, wow, that gets expensive. We got to pay him. Well, wait, he wants us to pay these other guys? Oh, boy, this is going to be rough. What are we going to do? And I think that's the vortex that the Bengals are currently caught in as it relates to Hendrickson. They got lucky with Higgins and Chase because they didn't drive the bargain they could have. They're stuck with the Hendrickson situation. And this Shamar Stewart thing is just a stupid, unforced error that they have decided to dig their feet in over instead of getting the guy in the fold and getting him ready for week one.
Mike, they struggled on defense last year to...
Okay, before we get into that part of it, I want to kind of touch on this business part that Florio is going over and how it's about money. Let's talk about the business aspect of the game here, right? So what generates more cash flow, right? The product being good, correct? You have a shitty team, nobody's paying to watch you, money's not coming in, yada, yada, yada. Now you have a team with Joe Burrow. You have these players that are electric that people want to pay to see. I would love to see the books ever since Joe Burrow walked into the building, how much revenue, how much cash flow this organization has generated because of these players, right? So when we look at this, it's like, isn't investing into the product itself going to A, bring more fans, which is going to then bring more money and more viewership because people want to watch the team, people want to go to the games? Wouldn't that make sense to invest in the product itself and actually make the team better? Isn't that what ultimately is going to bring you more money at the end of the day? Yeah, you would think so. This is how business works, right? So when you say it's a business, I just don't understand how you flip-flop through this process and you're not investing in trying to make this team better to generate more revenue, to bring in more fans. You have players that are walking billboards for this organization, easily marketable players like Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Trey Hendrickson, like electric players that people want to see. And just their name value alone is bringing in so many dollars to this business. I don't see how you don't invest in that. And that at the end of the day would generate more income. So I just don't get that narrative of like, it's a business, so we don't spend money. You got to spend money to make money. That's kind of how it works. So that's the shit that throws me off. Like, I look at it, I'm a consumer. I have Bengals season tickets. I invest into this team. I don't invest into this team because of the ownership. I pay to watch the players play, right? I'm investing in watching a good team. That's what I'm paying to see. If the product isn't there, I'm not going to give you my money. So this frustration is kind of driving me, and I'm sure you Bengals fans out there are like the same.
To understate it, it was really a weakness of the team. They had multiple games. Joe Burrow had some great games last year. Look at the stats for the season. Incredible season, but they couldn't stop anybody. So when you say they prioritize profit over winning, they're proving it right now. What would be the best thing to do? You already got a new defensive coordinator who's going to be pretty good. But you have Hendrickson, one of the best pass rushers in football, and you're not going to pay him. You're not going to tear up his contract and make it competitive, market-level contract. And then you draft Shamar Stewart in the middle of the, late middle, first round. So it's not like you've drafted him in the top 5 and he's looking for some record-setting deal.
Yeah, exactly.
At number 18, you have a pretty good sense of what that contract should be. So you have 2 defenders who could theoretically help you turn your defense around. We know Hendrickson can. I don't know if Stewart can, but pretty good prospect. And you're messing around with it, and it's June. What kind of message are you sending? It's just so tired. I mean, they do this all the time, and they just don't change. It's
fucking exhausting. Like, is anyone else like sick of listening to the shit that comes out of Bengals media and just all these updates? It's like, dude, like, we're so over talking about this shit. We want to talk about the players and how good they're going to be. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about football. Like, this shit is nonsense. Like, it's exhausting. It's fucking exhausting. This guy's facial expression shows it perfectly. It's like, man, we're so sick of talking about this shit, man. It's nuts. And yeah, they're messing with this again, like another off season of shit that we got to deal with because this organization is this organization.
And I'm not a Bengals fan, obviously. It's hard to watch.
Trust me.
I've seen different explanations about what's going on with Shamar Stewart and the Bengals. Here's the truth. And I'll see things on social media, and I'll see characterizations of what other reporters or insiders will say on other shows, and it's like, that's not really accurate. And I'm not going to call out the person or write a story about it. If somebody wants to be inaccurate, that's fine with me. I know what's actually going on, and it's very simple. Last year, Amarius Mims, taken at pick number 18 overall by the Cincinnati Bengals. He signed a contract, and there are not many things that you can really haggle over in the post-2011 rookie contracts. The dollars are set. You can fight over cash flow. When do I get my signing bonus? I know what my signing bonus is. It's all driven by a formula. When do I get it? Do I get it today? Do I get half of it today and half of it in 3 months? Do I get a fourth of it today, a fourth of it in 3 months, a fourth of it in 6 months, and a fourth of it a year from now? That's one of the things that you bargain over. The guarantee structure. Now, in round 1, everything's guaranteed. And one of the reasons why 30 of the 32 second-round players aren't signed yet is because they're trying to figure out how deep into round 2 the full guarantees are going to go. And there's a lot of waiting and watching, and I don't know. I don't want to be the next one to either, from the team perspective, give the 4-year guarantee, or from the agent perspective.
So I'll kind of cut that off there. You guys can watch the rest of this. I'll post the link down below if you want to watch the rest of that. But he kind of dives into the Shamar Stewart stuff a little bit more. And he's just talking about, like, there's only so many things you can do with a rookie contract and change. And the Bengals are just finding ways to mess this up. And they're trying to introduce a clause into the contract. I get it. Other teams are doing that. But Shamar is like, no, I'm not going to be the first guy to do this. So I get it. Like, and it's nonsense at this point. But if you want to watch the rest of that talk, you can go there. Now, there's one more thing I want to get to here before we jump off the segment today, and that's the nonsense. I don't know if you guys saw it, but the guy that was heckling Jamar Chase on the plane, Pretty fucking ridiculous. I don't know if you guys saw this, but let's pull this up and play here.
Everybody say hi to Jamar Chase on your way out. You don't sign autographs, though. I'm sorry.
How fucking sad is that shit, man? That's a grown-ass man heckling a pro athlete over an autograph. Pretty sad shit. And I think it's safe to say Stevie Max 5984, yeah, his account's not found on TikTok anymore because that's some bullshit, man. And if you're a Bengals fan, you ain't no Bengals fan no more, buddy. Hate to break it to you because that was some sad shit. The fact that you are a grown-ass individual and you're posting a video heckling a pro athlete for an autograph, dude. You might want to give your head a shake on that one. So I'm glad he's getting a little bit of hate because that was pretty pathetic. But, yeah, I mean, some people, man, don't get their autographs and they cry about it. So, crazy. But, you know, shout out Jamar for handling that like a pro because I sure as hell wouldn't have had the patience for that shit. But I appreciate you guys tuning in today. Can't wait to dive in to training camp once this gets started here and kind of talk more ball, not the off-season shenanigans that are going on. But we're going to get into that soon. Appreciate you guys tuning in. This is 4th and Who Day. And as always, Who Day.
In the dead of the night, I have these dreams. What'll happen to me? Will I burn out?